Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to this tutorial on how to make a minimap in GameMaker Studio. There are 1,000 ways to do this, but I'm gonna show my preferred way. I guess the simplest way is actually to use a view that's smaller, but I don't really like that because well, views are sort of annoying, I think, and you can't really choose what to draw to the map when you do that. So this is another way. So as you can see, I have this map over here. There's a rectangle that shows where the view is, and if I put units like this, show up like blue squares. And yeah, so that's it. Let's get started. So first of all, we're gonna need a background. Okay, so I cut a little bit. Now we're here. I've imported a tree sprite just to have some sort of reference in the background. And a background image. Create a room. Now for this tutorial I'm going to use a square room. I guess you could do it with a rectangular room, but it requires some more things to do. This is a little bit more simple version. Let's add the background grass. Let's make an object tree. This just to create the map. I'm gonna make another object called environment. This is gonna be all of the environments object are static. Will be drawn once to the map, like trees. So I'm gonna set the environment to parent of tree, and then I'm gonna randomly place some trees. Something like that. Doesn't matter. We're gonna add one view, enable and visible. I like 1280 by 720. Okay, visible when room starts. Doesn't follow an object, we'll just move it independently. Okay, hopefully you could follow along that. I haven't started coding yet, just making a basic. And there we go. Now I can't look around yet because I haven't added the code yet. But the room's there, the view's there. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna create an object called object view. Doesn't need a sprite. And create. I'm actually gonna make a little tip here that I like to use. I'll give you a little tip. So first, just view speed is 20 or something. Then I'm gonna make this. This is so if you want to change if you want to change the controls for moving the camera to WASD, for example, you can just go in here and change them instead of changing everywhere in the code. In the step event, we're gonna add this so we can control the view. if keyboard check, and we'll just write left because we set that to VK left. View X view. I'm not gonna. You can write this if you have multiple views, but it's if you don't, you can just use this, which I'm gonna do. Saves a lot of time. Minus equals view speed. Right. We move the view to the right. Up. We move the Y position of the view up. And for down, Y position plus view speed. Now this will allow us to move the view however we want to, but we don't want it to go outside of the room. Stop view from going. So we put if view X view is less than 0, view X view, oops, underline X view equals 0. And if view X view is large, X view plus the width of the view, so that if this is the view, this is the position of the X, and then we add the width of the view, which would be this. So if this value plus this value exceeds the room width, then it's gonna stop. Is larger than room width, then the X view equals room width minus view width of the view. Okay. I think you'll understand if you just think about it a little bit. If you don't. And then we'll do the same for Y. If Y view is less than 0, Y view is 0. Y view plus height of view is larger than room height. Y view is equal to room height minus height of the view. This is run every step, so this is nice. You can never go outside the room. So let's try it. Whoops. Oh yeah. Forgot to add the object. Object view. Nice. I can move around, and if I go to the right, it just stops. Good. Now let's add the minimap. So the view first let's decide how big the map should be. So I'm gonna make map size 200, and then I'm gonna calculate how large that is compared to the room by using map scale. Let's set map scale equal to 200 divided by room width. Now this is why it only works for a square room for this. You would actually need map X size and map Y size, as well as map X scale and map Y scale if you had a rectangular room. Sort of. At least, yeah, I'm not going to go into that. Map scale is that, and it's going to be something like now the room width is 3000, so it's going to be something like 0.075 or something. So it's a small number. That's good to remember. And then we create a surface. Map surface equals surface create. It's going to return a surface. Map size. Map size. Great. And then we're going to initiate surface equals 1. Then let's go to draw. If initiate surface equals 1, this is only done once. At the start of the room, we make sure to just, we just draw it once. Let's first I do draw clear in black. Fill the surface with a black. I'm not 100% sure this is actually needed, but I like to do it so we don't have any glitches. Draw black, and then sorry, we need to set the target first. Surface set target map surface. Okay, so now we'll draw onto the surface after this, and at the end we're gonna have surface preset target. Okay, now here inside, draw background. We want to draw the grass background, and we want to draw it tiled extended. I'm gonna show you why. Okay, so the background, let's just use background index, I think it's called, yes. So this way, if we change room and the next room has another background set as background index 0, then that's the background that's going to be drawn. I'm going to draw it at 0, 0. X scale, we're going to use map scale, so that the grass background is actually drawn smaller on the map. Color, just use white and alpha 1. They are not, we're not going to change those. I think that should do it. Okay. Let's see where that gets us. Now we have created this, and we're gonna set initiate surface to 0 again. So this is only drawn once. Now let's see if I use the draw in this interface. Then we don't have to bother with the view stuff. I can use this just for the sake of testing. Draw surface map surface 0, 0. This is gonna draw it at the top left of the screen at all times. Let's see what happens. And yay, we have it. You can see here, top left corner. We're gonna move it to the bottom right, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't do anything wrong up until now. Okay, so there are no errors yet. Let's move on. First of all, it's actually good practice to do a check that the surface exists before you draw it, or you might have an error. So we could use if surface exists, map surface. If it exists, we draw it. Else surface create. We need to map surface equals surface create map size and initialize surface is 1. Initiate. There was something wrong with that. There, initiate surface is 1. Okay. So that's good. Now we actually don't want to draw it here, we want to draw it in the bottom left. So to make things easier, because there are a lot of things we need to draw at the other side of the screen, I'm gonna make some new variables here in the create that we can use. For starter, I use large letters for when I use values that's not gonna change. I'm gonna use window get width and game window pixels. Yes. Width is window get width. Height is window get height. Okay, so we're going to use those a lot. Yep. Okay. Back to the draw GUI event. So we'll set the color to black. I'm gonna draw a rectangle that's behind the. It's gonna be behind the map. Draw rectangle. X1 is gonna be, again, let's assume this window here is the view. It's gonna be, I'm gonna draw the rectangle like that, so it's gonna be this X, which will be width that I just created, width minus map size, and then I'm gonna add -2 because that makes it so there's a small black border on the map, which looks nice. Y1 is going to be 0 because it's at the top of the view and we're in the draw GUI event. X2 is going to be width, and Y2 is going to be height. It's not an outline, it's going to be filled, so false for that. Great. I'm going to make temporary variables called TL for top left, so I'm going to make it it's going to be width, no, I'm sorry, this is map left, it's going to be width minus map size. Should have made these earlier. Sorry if this is confusing. I'll explain. Okay, so we want to draw the map at the bottom left here, and we're going to use the top left coordinates of the map quite a lot. So I'm going to create variables for them, so I don't have to write this width minus map size in parentheses all everywhere. Okay, so there's a map there. We're saving the top left coordinates for map left and map top. Okay, so actually here we can use draw rectangle instead of width minus map size. I can just write map left -2. Makes more sense as well. Okay, draw rectangle back, and then we draw the surface, and we're gonna draw it at map left and map top. Let's try again, quick one. So it's starting to look like my version that I showed you in the beginning. So we have this black square, you can have buttons or whatever, or you can just have black square around the map if you want more gameplay room, whatever. Now let's add trees and the view rectangle. So the trees, again, now I'll explain. I created this environment object that is the parent of the trees, and you can add rocks and you can add them as childs of the environment object as well. So that way, when we create the surface, when you initialize it, we draw the background, and then we're going to do this with object environment. So that means every tree object, every rock object, or anything that you say is an environment object is going to draw itself. Draw sprite extended because we need some scaling. And just add sprite index, subimage 0, they're going to be static. And the x, now here's the fun part. So the x value we need to type x times other dot map scale, and y times other dot map scale, and dot map scale for the scale of themselves. So because the surface is so much smaller, you're gonna need to scale everything you draw down. Other dot map scale, and the other keyword here is because I'm inside the environment object, and it doesn't have a variable called map scale. But if you go outside, which is what other means, we are in the view object that has a map scale variable. Rotation, I'm just gonna put the values for all of these. So if you want to rotate an object, it's gonna show up as rotated, for example. And image blend for color and image alpha. Okay, and remember this is only going to be drawn once, which is why I prefer it over the use of a view, because that means if you use a view, it's going to be everything's rendered twice, I believe. Okay, so that's the environment. Should be rendered like that, and then I said we were going to add the view rectangle. So we go back to the draw GUI events, and we're going to want to draw that on top of everything. Draw the view rectangle. So first I'm going to set the color to white or light gray. And then I'm going to make another draw rectangle. Now, again, remember what I said about the top left. So this is not part of the surface, it's just a rectangle on top of the screen. So we're going to need to the default value is always if the view is at 0, 0, then we're gonna draw it at map left. That's the x value, and then plus view x view times map scale. Okay, and I don't have to use the other keyword here because I'm doing this as the view object. Y is going to be default map top, then plus its y position, view y view times map scale. The x2 is going to be map left plus, I'm going to use the parentheses here, view x view plus view width of view width view, and then those two combined times map scale. And the same for y, basically, map top plus view y view plus view height of view times map scale. And the outline is true for this one because we just want the outline of the rectangle. Great, I think. That should do it. Let's try again. Yay! So now you can see the rectangle where your view is. You can see that it almost matches up because there's the black. Oh, whatever. If you look at the left here, that's the tree that's there. Yeah. Okay, great. Now there's only one step left, adding the units and the little blue squares. So I'm gonna make an object called object unit and another object soldier, and he's gonna have the unit as a parent. And I'm not gonna bother making a fancy sprite, just actually I could make it like that. Great looking soldier. And I'm gonna make, this is how I like to do it, because we want to draw the friendly units in blue, for example, or green, but green doesn't look very good on this grass background. So let's say blue, and the enemies we want to draw in red. So we're gonna need to have some way to distinguish them from each other, and I'm gonna make some constants called team friendly and team enemy. Okay, and soldier is obviously a friend, so his team just like that. No, we don't need it. Okay, so now we have a unit. And let's say when we press the left button, instance create mouse X, mouse Y, object soldier. So when I press the left mouse button, I'm just going to create a soldier for demonstration purposes. And then again, the draw GUI. Now we need to do this with object unit. Again, this will be both for friendly units, enemy units. That's why I have this. I guess you could do with enemy and then something, then again with friend. But whatever, you could do it 1,000 ways. This is how I do it. So with object unit, and then you check the variable. I did make a variable called team, I think, yeah, team. So I'm just gonna, if team equals team team friendly, draw set color blue, and if team is team enemy, we're going to draw it in red. Now we've set the correct color, we do draw rectangle. And this is basically the same as the view thinking. So we have map left plus, and then this is a rectangle, remember. So we're going to have the x value, and then I'm going to subtract, wait a minute, x. Let's do it like this instead. X times map scale, and then, yeah, this is a rectangle, so at least we want it to be at least 2 pixels wide, so we're going to make it like that, -2 or -1. Then the y value, map top plus y times map scale, and I'm sorry, I need to make the other map scale, -1, and then I'm just going to copy this because it's basically the same. Map left plus x times other map scale, and +1 instead. +1. False. It's not an outline. We want it to be filled. There we go. Yeah. Let's try that. That went a little bit fast. Maybe I messed something up. This is great. So as you can see, there are now blue dots created everywhere when I create something like this. And just to finish it off, I'm just going to make object enemy enemy sprite and object enemy parent of unit, and I'm going to change his team to team enemy, and I'm going to add when I press the right mouse button, I'm going to create an enemy. Oops. So you should hopefully see that they are red on the map. Okay. Now I haven't added zoom here. I did that in the other video, but this is like half an hour video, I think, already. So let's just stop here. And if you want me to make zoom, I'll make a part 2, and we'll see that. But you shouldn't have to change anything in the view code, just add zoom if you want to, and the view rectangle should adapt. So yeah, that's it. You have a minimap. This rectangle doesn't do anything, but yes, I hope you liked it. And this video is uploaded, I think, when I have 100 subscribers. So thanks a lot for that. I never expected I'd get that high. So yeah, thanks a lot for that, and I hope to make more tutorials as well as trailers and stuff for my games. Hope you liked it. Leave a like, comment if you want me to make more, or if you have any suggestions for what I should do next. And yeah, thanks for watching.